figured out a few different ways to make it as easy and painless as possible for both you and the dog, because we both know it can be a very hateful and scary experience for both of you. So in this video, we're going to start with 1, the theory, so that way whether your dog has black nails or clear nails, you understand what's going on with the nail. 2, the most common mistakes that people make, so that way you can recognize whether you're making them yourselves or not. 3, how to choose the right tool, and we've got a couple of other things that we need to do this properly on easy mode. And finally, I'm going to clip some nails and show you how I do it with a couple of different dogs, so that way you can see some variations. So let's start by going to the whiteboard. Okay, so most people freak out because of a dog with black nails. There's one right here, I'll show you. So let's say this is the pad. Okay, every nail is the same. So if you learn about the shape more than can I see the quick, because it's very hard on most dogs to actually see the quick. So there's the pad, and then the nail comes over, comes out, there's the top, and then it comes down, and hopefully it doesn't look too much like that. That's a giant. It's an absolute giant. So the quick is the thing, is the nerve with the blood in it. And then what a lot of people do, so obviously if you just go chop, you're gonna get a bunch of blood. So we don't want that. But regardless, they will not bleed out. They'll bleed a lot, but they're not gonna bleed out. So your first cut, if you're gonna use clippers, is straight like this. And then most people stop there, but I'm gonna show you how to shape the nail, and then whether we're using different tools, but making lots of little slices. So when you understand this shape, I'll redraw it and then you'll get to see. Or let's just look at a dog. 10-year-old dog Vega, and she's a pretty good model most of the time. Come on. Up. Good girl. Come here. So what I'm going to show you is the shape of her nail, which she's like, we did nails today already. I don't want to do this. But what you can see, come here girl, is that the shape is the same. So if you stay flush with the pad, so if the pad is here and the nail comes out over, here's the pad, as long as you're not going past that, above the pad, you're almost never going to hit the quick. And so right here, I would like to back them up a little bit more, but I'm still gonna go back and do the tops, but you're going to learn my system of doing nails and why, even though we cut these today, they're not done yet. But the pad is here, right? And then, so if I cut straight from there, there's no way I'm going to hit the quick. But I do want to go higher than that, which then gets a little dicey, but she's been very forgiving over the years. Haven't you? Oh my goodness. Oh, mom. Okay, some of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is they start off too low to the ground. It's very difficult to cut to be down here if you're not super mobile to begin with, and you're down here and your face is beside the dog's face, and you know, it's a little harder to control them physically. Number 2 is people often grab the dog's paw, so they'll hold it all the way around, and then it naturally creates this game of like, I want to chomp on your hand, I'm gonna pull away. There's all this frustration versus having your hand open on their paw is a different experience, and positioning it, I often like to hold the dog like this and cut the nails so I can see them perfectly like this, but so that way I don't get bit in the arse. There's also something else that I do, which you're gonna see in step 4. Probably the biggest one is there's no leash on the dog. So they can just you pull out the clippers and they run away. And then that pattern of behavior is reinforced where it's like, I see these, I run away. Or you clip their nail, you do hit the quick, which again, they're not gonna bleed out and die, but they're running through the house, trailing blood all over the place. And you're trying to get them, now we're in this panic state. Have a leash on your dog. Cheap clippers versus expensive clippers, there is a difference. The sharpness of them, you can resharpen. This pair, there will be product links in the description below. And it would be the same thing with a Dremel. No, drop. Good girl. Trying to shoot a video with a busy Malinois puppy. too many, cutting too many nails at once, but also having too many dogs in the room would be the other too many. You're going to see part of the process might be, depending on the dog and the situation, only cutting one nail per day. The last thing we want is like, the dog is like, hey, no. They did okay, but we just got 2 nails left and the dog's starting to get really overwhelmed. Better to just come back to it. Even if it was at a groomer, I've been the groomer and I've said, listen, can you bring your dog by tomorrow? There'll be no extra charge, but like they're at, hey, no. They're at capacity right now, and I want this to end at least somewhat positively. So can we not keep going? And if they were like, no, you have to do it today, I go, well, I'm probably not going to be the groomer for you in the future. So there's a bunch. Oh. Vega, up. Good girl. So there's a couple of very important tools that you're going to want. One, clippers, if we decide that this is the right tool for you. This, to me, is going to get the bulk of the work done, but it's also the most likely way that you're going to cut a quick. Which leads to option number 2, a Dremel, but these can be very loud. And so if your dog is sensitive to noises, you're gonna have to spend extra time desensitizing them to this, but you're definitely gonna have to desensitize them to the noise and the vibration regardless. Which essentially is just turning it on, giving food at a distance, and you bring it closer and closer. You can even touch the back end of the Dremel to the paw, food. But your dog is definitely going to run away if you do that unless you have a leash on them, some way to restrain them, which also means what collar do you have on. This is a slip lead or a dominant dog collar, so there's no getting out of this tool, but you need to be very careful what surface you have on your dog, because if this thing tightens and your dog is up elevated, you don't want them to jump off and... Which leads to the next question, what surface are you going to put your dog on? You can do it on the ground, and you'll see some dog trainers get their dogs to lay down on their side. That takes a lot of work and conditioning to get a dog to lay down and then flip over on their side before you ever cut their nails. And then they have to stay in that position. It's the ultimate goal of what to work towards, but I think if you're just cutting one nail every day, then you don't need to do that. So personally, I like having the dog up quite high. I like doing this, for example, on a chair. Let's just show you what it would look like over here. Vega, up. Oh, that's a good girl. So she's up here on this chair, and then I can do it from this angle, and while I'm not completely standing up, I could, and I'm doing her nails without being on the ground. And because she's up a little bit higher, it's more effort for her to get down and get away. And if I have a partner in this, they can stand up and they're much closer to the dog's mouth level where they're going to be getting treats, which is the next part of the tools that you need. So having a reward after every clip is really great. Now, that reward differs for different dogs. Most dogs want food. They want a high value treat, but some dogs love to bite and love to tug. And by bite, I don't mean like bite you. I mean bite and tug and wrestle. And you can do that too. It's just everything takes a little bit longer with a toy and a tug because they do that, and then you have to play the game and then go back to doing another clip if you're going to do multiple clips. But basically, use whatever your dog loves the most, which for this dog and a lot of dogs, what I like to use is a sticky lick mat. You're going to see me do it with Storm in a little bit. So for her, it's food, but I've also, she's obsessed with her Frisbee. So I've literally thrown the Frisbee, got her to do a sit stay, clip a nail, and then as soon as that nail's clipped, break. She gets to fly and go and get her Frisbee. Which leads to the last factor, which is, do you need a muzzle for your dog? Does your dog have a bite history? And if you don't know the dog, you want to be very careful and see how are they about touching their paws. You can see she gives her paw, but she's a little jumpy about it. And I for as much good as I did, there were plenty of times that I cut her nails in a hurry and clipped the quicks, but she's a very sensitive dog, always has been. And I've had other dogs where I, cut their quick and then cut the next quick and the next quick, and they don't care. There's no fuss at all. But you can see there's still trust and a relationship here. So if you're uncertain, you kind of want to start here and work your way down and see, does the dog go into avoidance? Is there any growling? Whatever. If there is, stop what you're doing, muzzle train the dog, and then come back to it. All right, final stage. Let's cut some nails. All right, so there's multiple factors of cutting nails on easy mode. Step one, get your dogs tired. There's no need to try to do this while they're full of energy. Like you can see she's laying down. He was just passed out till I started talking, and then he's like, is there somebody here? And so that's step one, is get them good and tired. The second step is having already practiced your surface, or it's already a surface that the dog is comfortable with. So like right now, she's laying on her bed, she's tired. Maybe I go there. Like even though I would prefer not to be down on the ground, she's already comfortable in that position. You do need to be aware of approaching your dog that's sleeping, especially with a tool that they already don't like. Is this going to make them more hesitant for you to approach them in the future when they're laying on their bed? But typically I don't interact with my dogs when they're resting, and I'm coming over with food. So I got to get ready. They've already been exercised. Guys, do you really need to do this right now? They've already been exercised. Then I'm going to get ready, establish what surface I'm going to use. So for the little Malinois, I know this is going to seem weird, but I'm going to use this chair here, and my reward system is going to be a licky mat, but I'm also going to have my fanny pack with high value treats as well. I'm going to have a leash on her. I don't know if I'm going to use a slip leash or her flat collar or a prong. I'm probably going to use a slip leash. And I'm going to start with the clippers, and then on this session, depending on how it goes, I might just clip one nail. I might not clip anything. I might just touch her nail with the clipper as she's eating from this position. And then I also might ditch the chair and go to the crate. It's all about being flexible, trying to make this as easy as possible, which is going to be different for every dog. You're going to see I'm probably going to do my German Shepherd while he's laying on the bed, maybe even start to condition him to lay on his side, so that way it's even easier over time and he just feels more relaxed about everything. Let's see how it goes. So I've got this licky mat here, which has these suction cups on the back. It's just fantastic. I find par freezing the peanut butter works best. This is almond butter. Your dog can have any kind of nut butter. They can have any nuts except macadamia nuts are not ideal, but I've never been to someone's house that had macadamia. Would you like a macadamia nut and jam sandwich? No, thank you. Actually, it might be delicious. But yeah, par freezing this, and really, you don't have to put a lot on. I find spreading it out and making it a little bit more challenging for them is really the key to this. And you can always add more as you go. I'm using almond butter because it's just got less sugar in it than, your regular Kraft peanut butter, kind of regular peanut butter. It's just all sugar, and I don't want to give my dog more sugar. I'm gonna stick this up on the wall, and initially, or on the window here, and initially, you don't have to cut nails, right? Like this can be completely voluntary from the dog of, what do we have up here? Just letting her get established with the environment, the expectation, figuring out the distance. This is the first time I've tried this with this dog, so I'm gonna give myself some grace. Come on. And let her know that she can come down. Again, a leash goes on here. Your dogs will become very clever to all of this situation. Now I want to see, can she be balanced? Does she feel... Because if she feels like she's just going to fall off this thing, which we've practiced 2 chairs, and then gone to one chair. But look, barely interested in this almond butter for some reason. I'm curious as to why that is. It might be the chair, it might be the situation, because we've typically done this with 2 chairs, just up and down. Break. Sometimes they just need a break too. Ready? Go. Yeah, it's a good girl. She might be like, why are you talking to nobody? So this is the position I really want to get her used to being in. It's just holding that paw flat palmed while I do this. Tools ready. Good girl. Come. So take her away, and then I'm going to go right to having the clippers. I'm going to get a second camera so that way you guys can see up close and personal. I'm going to show you how to do this at the end with 2 people, which is way easier. Again, easy mode. But I realize a lot of you will be on your own, and this is totally possible on your own. Come, ready? Good girl, up. Good, so she is chomping away there. I kind of want to, I'm just touching her body here to make sure that she feels comfortable enough. Good girl. Okay, so leash is here. You can just throw it over the chair or something, or hold on to it, or put it in your teeth, or do whatever you have to do with it to make sure. Now, see the little nub on the back of their paws there? That's how I lift up the paw. Is I just push on that, and then typically the paw comes right up, okay? I like to go under the body, and then we're gonna go with the clippers to begin with, and I'm gonna count her down. I'm just touching them first completely. This is super easy right now. So you see we go to the flat where the nail bends, and I'm just gonna go to the flat. 3, 2, 1, clip. Good girl. Doesn't even notice. So now I can just keep going. 3, 2, 1, clip. And then I'm just looking to see, did I get any of the quick? Obviously not. 3, 2, 1, clip. Maybe a little bit there. I'm pushing it right now to see how much I can do, and then just drop it. Now you can drop the paw in between each clip as well, but she's just so distracted. 3, 2, 1, clip. The reason I'm counting down like that is when I have a person to help me, that's also how I'm going to do it. When I say clip, they're gonna open their hand and feed the dog. 3, 2, 1, clip. I also think 3, 2, 1, clip. 3, 2, 1, clip. 3, 2, 1. Typically for this side, I would come around and go the other. I would switch and probably go left-handed, but normally I can walk around the dog, but I can't right now. Okay, so something I did just there that I caught myself doing was I hesitated. It's better that you go fast and quick, in my opinion, than slowly grind out, which is also part of having sharp. The last thing that we want is to like slowly push through the quick if you are gonna end up cutting it. So basically you go quick. Quick for the quick. She's barely getting anything there now, so this is where she might notice me touching her paw more. Yeah, good girl. Ready? Break. Now see, she's panting as much because like, it's a bit stressful being up here, but apparently not. She's tired, right? And she's working on getting that. So I'm gonna reach under her belly. I'm gonna come around her. I'm gonna lift up on her belly. Now this is where having 2 chairs might be helpful as well. Did she find my food pouch there? And again, I'm gonna lift up that pad and cut from here. 3, 2, 1, clip. Lift up. 3, 2, 1, clip. 3, 2, 1, clip. 3, 2, 1, clip. 3, 2, 1, clip. So I'm going flat at the beginning, and that would be enough to be helpful. It's a good start. But really, I want to be able to get that bend off, and then there, and then there, and then the side. So I'm going the majority, just the like overhang, and then from the top down, and the side angles. But you see, she's just so distracted that like, it makes it very easy, or easier anyway. But how I'm gonna change this setup right now is because she doesn't really feel like she can stand, because she can't. She barely can, so I'm gonna put another chair here and help her. These high back chairs are challenging. I've often done it with a little workbench, but I found it was pretty not stable. So an old school piano bench, I've got one of those. I've got these crates back here. Whatever's gonna make your life and the dog's life easiest, I think, is the most important. Oh, good. Now, all these things that I'm asking her to do, like get up on these chairs, like I said, we've practiced before. Break. And let her back up, see if she wants to go up. And now she can see. And ideally, if she was like reaching a little bit further, like if I had the chairs back a little bit more, which I might do. Storm, break. Up. So that way she's fully extended. Break. I'm gonna get some more almond butter here. All right, so again, coming under the body. Whoop. Coming under the body, lifting that paw upside down has been my experience of the easiest thing. The dog feels a little bit more supported, especially on the back. They're on 3 legs, so I'm helping her here. That's that second cut. You can see, look, I clipped the quick just a little bit. She doesn't even notice. I'm gonna go under her body, and I'm going to lift. The other thing you can do is you can come right down and hold. You don't have to go under the body, as if you're right-handed or left-handed. So look, see this one here? It's already been clipped. I'm gonna go back over the top and just get that little top line done. I guess you do have black nails, don't you? Clip, clip, clip. Oh, she's got her. All right, well, this could work. There's a new technique. Food pouch open. Dog's head in food pouch. And you clip this. One hand is going to have her.
Come on, go to place.
So one hand is going to be like, just step to the side so I can show the camera here for a sec. Yep. One hand is going to be like this on her collar, couple of fingers. So these 3 fingers, and obviously she's a dog that's not going to attack me.
No.
She might try to bite a bit, right? But so these 3 fingers under the collar.
Yep.
These 2 fingers stabilizing the head on this side,
Okay.
and this hand with the food. I mean, you can do it whichever way, but you got to get a hold of her. And then what I do is I come over here, okay? So you're holding her, and then I come over here, and I can go under her body to kind of stabilize her a bit.
Okay.
Tip the paw up and go 1. You're gonna feed the food when I say 3. Okay? So I lift up. I'm coming underneath. 1, 2, 3, clip. 1, 2, 3, clip. 1, 2, 3, clip.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Super difficult.
Yeah.
It's you got to know what you're doing. Okay?
Yeah.
So your turn.
Okay.
So you're gonna go under her body.
Was it this way?
You need more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just should have crushed it more. I'm good.
Was it this
Here,
way under her
here.
body? Is this how you did it?
Just smash that in your hand. Just crunch
This
it. Yeah, under. Yeah, so we
This
come
way?
under her flank, yeah,
Okay.
and lift up. And then you want to get it so that, lift up, lift up, lift up. And get it so that this bends
Okay.
with this hand.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
That's okay.
Good girl, Eddie.
So don't talk to her, don't do any
Don't
of
talk to
that.
her?
That's his
Okay.
job.
I can't get the foot. Okay.
You want to see it again?
Yeah, me.
Sure. So don't be afraid to like
To live, yeah. Okay.
lift her up,
Okay.
right? And then this is where this hand, it's to bend over that ankle.
Right.
And see how it, you kind of want it flush
Okay.
with the pad of her foot.
Okay.
Where these have grown out a bit, you might
Yeah.
hit the quick.
Right. Yeah, they're pretty long.
But they're super long, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, but basically you want it flat with there.
Yep.
See how I didn't hit the quick?
Yep.
Right, so I put the clippers on there, on the paw,
Yep.
and then keep it flat with there.
Okay.
Yeah, but underneath,
Underneath.
and then I'm above that
Push your
ankle
foot
there,
out. Okay.
right? But
Okay.
just lift her up first, just try without the clippers. And I'd give her a piece of just one piece because but lift her up, lift her up, lift her up. Come on. With the other
this
hand,
hand?
that hand. There you go.
There.
Good. Now you
Okay.
got it. Okay.
Okay.
So then try to go the other way. There
This
you
way?
go. Yep. Perfect. And then do it fast. Clip. Perfect.
Great.
Okay. So
Okay.
so like one
Good girl.
is a start.
Yes.
You don't have
That was wild. That we
you
did
don't
that.
have to do all 10 or however many she has, 12 or
Yeah.
hopefully more than 10.
In order for her to be introduced to the Dremel, all I'm going to do, it's not actually going to, it might touch her. I don't know. We'll see how she goes. Again, it's all about how is your dog doing in this process. She's going to lick it there. I'm going to turn the Dremel on, but watch, I'm going to bring it away from her even more. And just let her experience that for a minute. You can see if I just started coming right in at her with this thing. There you go. Nice girl. Good girl. And then I'm going to turn it off before she's done eating. So, interested in the food, noise comes on. Whoops. And see, look, here's a moment right here. I forgot, I put it on a different collar on her because I wasn't happy with the slip lead situation because I knew I wasn't going to be holding the leash. And I forgot to put it back on. You're not always going to do everything perfectly. Was that right? No, but this is such a DIY setup right now. It's not like I have a grooming table, which would be great. It would be fantastic to have a grooming table. I'll put a link in the description as to one that I have or one that I've used that I enjoy, a cheaper one. And yeah, that's the way it's going to go sometimes. You're going to screw up, you're going to forget the leash, the dog's going to run away. The most important thing, if that ever happens, is don't chase the dog. Just let them decompress, stop, and do it again tomorrow or later that day after you've exercised them. Let them get that cortisol out of their system. All right, so I'm gonna use what I have here. I've got this banister, got the dog bed. Maybe I need to wrap it around a couple of times, but I'm not too worried about the dogs getting up and leaving. You can always put them back. When they feel too constrained, it just makes things worse, to be honest. So giving them some freedom is important. A cordless Dremel would be better, but use what you got. I think the corded ones are cheaper. So there's two speeds. I always go with the faster one. Why? Because it does it faster. Okay, so I'm going to touch while she does this. Again, if you have a dog with any resource guarding, sometimes you need to just do all this without any reward. Like the reward comes later. Still put a muzzle on your dog. If your dog resource guards, they're probably going to have a problem with all of this to begin with. You can touch and do all of this. So this would be a sign that this dog might bite, is they've left the thing that they're really intrigued in. As soon as I get to this point where it's like, I've got your paw, eyes are big, they're bugged out. Like if I didn't know this dog, I would probably stop right now. But sometimes it's just they're uncomfortable, and then you teach them to hey, nothing bad happened, and you know, maybe by the 4th or 5th time that I lift the paw, it's not gonna be a problem. Dropped a little treat there, got another one in my hand, that never works. So touching those paws, and you know, at the end of the day, sometimes the dog's just uncomfortable, and it just is what it is, and you just gotta get the job done. So, I don't have anything left for you. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this on. She's got that. I would highly recommend using a face mask for this. There's a lot of dust that comes up, and you don't need that in your lungs. So I'm gonna put her over there. I've got some towels here for my knees, and I'm gonna lift up the pad and do the same thing again. 3, 2, 1, touch, and then reward, basically. At the beginning, that's what we're gonna do. We can also distract the dog by putting the treat out of reach. The focus is on that. And this is happening, and then after you do that, you get this. I almost never use the Dremel on her. I'm very impressed with how she's doing. Almost like this is set on easy mode. Hey, Peepa. Alright, we're gonna clip your nail. We're gonna do the Dremel. 3, 2, 1, Dremel. And so here now I'll go, like over time, you wanna be able to go longer. But again, when the dog starts pulling and pulling and pulling like that, I'm not gonna pull back. And ideally, you want to end before they pull at all. Good girl. Now, you got to be careful with too much liver. That's a lot of liver at this point. So, it's the same idea all the way around. Whoops. Sorry, I could have given her some instruction as you should do. Stay. No. Good girl. I just don't like to put a lot of pressure on the dog verbally or otherwise, because I don't want them feeling, I almost want her like to go and to be not like digging and scratching the floor, but I want her as distracted as possible, not a bunch of no, 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 no. Not that I don't believe in saying no, I'm a balanced trainer. 3, 2, 1, trim up. Oh, what a good girl. Let's do another nail. Oh. So I'll let her put it down, pick it back up again. And they can feel this, like this is not comfortable. And at some point you will get to, good girl, you will get to the quick, and it will, I assume, feel pretty hot for them. But it's not clipping. It's, you know, they're gonna want to start pulling, and you go, okay, maybe that's the point there. And just every day, a little bit at a time. The biggest factor of this easy mode is just doing a tiny bit at a time, one nail every day. And then you get into it, and then over time you can do 2 nails, and then 3 nails, and then 4 nails. Yes, good girl. All right, YouTube thinks that you should watch this video, or you should watch this video right here. Thank you so much for following. Know that you are loved. Bye, meow.